Hi all, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Let's start rebooting up using Uipath. In today's session, we want to discuss about API data extraction with the Json response. So in previous session, we have discussed how the API call will work. So what are the methods has been used in the HTTP. And today we are going to have a live walkthrough how to extract the data from the API. And these are the sites which are going to be used in our today's session. Let me quickly jump back to the Uipath studio. So this is the process which I have created already. So what you can do, so just go to the activities. As a prerequisite, I hope you have installed Uipath.WebAPIactivities, which we had discussed on our previous session. Let me type it as web here. So you can see, right, http.webrequest. Let me drag and drop here. So if you're not installed, then let me show you here once again. So click on projects. So and then this is our dependency which I installed. So you can install this particular package, Uipath.WebAPIactivities. Let me go to our activity now. So just click on configure. So here you are going to provide your endpoint which you have as a test sites. So what actually we are going to do? So we are going to interpret each and every lines of the particular data in which you have in API, and we are going to extract those. And once you have provided your endpoint, the preview URL will be populated automatically. So based upon the endpoint, so and you can see couple of methods, right? So which is request methods, get, and then response. So in response we can get in many response, JSON, XML, custom. So as we are going to discuss now in a JSON only, which is a predefined format which has been used globally on all organizations. So let me try to provide our test URL now. So let me go here, let me copy this, and let me provide over here. Perfect. So once you have provided your endpoint, so automatically you can see your preview URL has been populated. Just click on OK. So to get more insight about the URL, what actually it has, so what you can do is just open a Chrome. Okay, just try to paste that particular URL. So once you paste the URL over there, so you can get so many data which regarding to that API. So you can see some of the data, right? So the person data, so which is gender and the name and the location. So these are the data which contains in this API. So what I'm going to do here now, so we are going to transfer to each and every node and interpret the data and going to extract those them. So I hope you got some insight about this particular URL, what actually it has, right? Perfect. So what you can do now, so we have already provided our HTTP request. So once you see here, this is not in a readable format so that you can get to know what actually the attributes it has, right? So it is not in a structured format. So as we discussed earlier, so we are going to see a couple of activities which is decentralized, so which will make your JSON in a standard format and give you a better view on those. So what we can do now here, so let me do some experiment over here first of all. Let me drag a right line here. So you have provided the URL in your HTTP request. You have to clear our output, right? So let me scroll down here. So this is our response content. So once it got open, just make a control K, API data. So let me name it as API data and then copy this and just to provide over here. Perfect. And then click on save, click on debug now. So what actually it will throw here in the output panel, so we're going to get the same data which you have seen in your Chrome. So first of all, what we are going to do as a first step, we are going to make it in a standardized format now. So let the output get hit now. So let's wait for some times. I guess the output got generated now. So you can see the data, right? Same data which is in Chrome. So it is not a readable format. So what you can do now, let me drag a decentralized. So here you can see two kind of decentralized. So one is decentralized JSON and one is decentralized JSON array. So let me explain one by one. So let me drag a decentralized JSON over here. Okay. So let me try to provide this output of this HTTP request as an input for this particular JSON. So you can just go to the property panel, just go here, try to provide the input, which is API data, and then try to create an object. So since I can see here this is a JSON object, what I will do, I'll just make a J object. Okay, so for my better convenience. So and then so try to right line now JSON. So as we already know that, so right line will take only string, right? So what you can do, dot to string, which will convert this J object into a to string. Just click on save and then debug. Right, perfect. So I guess our execution is done. Let me go to the output panel. So see here, so you can see in a structured format right now. So you are able to interpret, so what is this particular field and what is the data of this thing, right? So let me copy this, okay. Let me go to the OneNote. Let me try to paste over here, okay. So that we can get a better view actually. So you can see here, right? So under results, so gender male, and then title, first name, last name. So you can, it is very convenient, right? So it has given a standardized format, so where you can interpret and find what are the attributes and what is the data. So, so this will be the vital role of a decentralized, so which help you to make in a standard format, so that we can interpret, so what is the property and what are its value. So once you see here, so we have to understand few concepts. So which is nothing but JSON object, JSON property, and JSON values. So I will be calling this particular thing as an JSON array. Why? So this particular JSON array has a several JSON property objects. So you can see here, right? So when I just open here in the curly braces, which is array, you can see multiple properties, right? So which is gender. So you can see here, it has been opened here and closed here. So which is name and our property, and then so what is the time zone is a property, email is a property, so login, and then DOB. So these are the properties. So what? So under the array, JSON array. So what is the property value? So this is the value. So this is a property object, and this is property value, and this is JSON array. So under this particular JSON array, so these are the properties which it has. So these are the entire properties which it has. And then this is one more, yeah. So here you can see, right? So it does not have any open bracket, right? So what actually it means, it does not have so many properties. So if it has a property, then it should be an array only. So you can see this open bracket, right? So this open bracket and close here. So what actually it means? So it has these many properties, and each property has its own value as well. So we are going to use this particular JSON array concept in your decentralized JSON array, okay? So these are the ways which will be utilizing our decentralized JSON and decentralized JSON array. So here we have to interpret the each and every node. So for an example, so from here to here, so if you want to extract the data, so which is in gender, right? So how do you do that? So you have to traversal to result. From the result, you have to traversal to the gender. So likewise, we have to traversal to the each and every node, so that we can capture the value of each and every properties. So what I will do now, so let me copy this one, copy, just go to the studio, go to the right line. So this particular right line will print everything, right? So what I will do here, open bracket, close bracket, double quotes. Inside these double quotes, I will provide the result now. Okay. So here in the output panel, you can see from the result. So above the curly bracket, you can see, right? So let me see the changes now. Let me save this. Let me debug. So what will the output now? So the output will be taken from here now. So after the results actually. So I guess our execution is done. So let me go to the output panel. See, after the result, right? So you can see here, correct? So perfect. So now you have been understood how to interpret to the each and every data. So let me take some other examples. Okay. So now I need only the gender. On our last example, so we have seen the couple of data which is after the result, right? So we are going to extract only the gender now. Okay. So to be very specific actually here. So what you can do here, let me go here, copy this particular gender, come back to the Uipath Studio, just go to the right line, go here, after this, try to paste 0. So what actually 0 it means? So this 0, so you can see here, right, the array which has 2. So 1, and then so after it has some data. So if it does not have, so this is an entire array means, so we don't need to provide any 0 or 1. Okay. So but here you can see, so it has 2 kind of data. So that's why we are going to provide a position over here. So which is nothing but 0. and then so the field need to be captured, so which is nothing but gender. Just copy, just go here, double quotes, just try to provide over there. Perfect. Click on OK now. Click save and then try to debug now. So you will be getting the output as only the particular gender. Click on save and click on debug now. So I guess our execution is done. Let me click on the output panel. Yeah, perfect, right? So we can see the gender over here. So which is nothing but female. Perfect. So and one more thing I just need to note over here. So you will be getting a data as male or female. So it will be keep on changing. So why I was saying here, so this particular API which is random me API, so which will provide each and every clicks, it will provide a different data. You can see male here, right? So don't worry about so what actually data which you are getting. So just try to be specific on the output. So whether you are going to capture the data on the particular property. Okay, so this property, the syntax will be remain same. So but the value which is inside this particular property might be changed. Okay, so since because we are using a generate like random user generates API, so which is keep on generating the random details on the every refresh clicks. So let me try to capture the first name now. So the first name and the last name. So how do you do that? So are you going to provide so the first name and the last name to the next of this one? No. So let me try in that way as well, so that we can find so what actually the error which you are facing. So let me try to extract the first name now. So how do you do that? So are you going to traversal to gender, so which is result after the gender then the name? So are you going to traversal in that way? No, you should not do that. So if you are doing that, so you will be end up with error. So let me explain why you will be end up with error. So what is the so then how to use this actually? So you can see here, right? So gender, it does not have many properties here, correct? So it is have only one equivalent values. So but when you are seeing in the name, okay, so it started with the curly braces. So it has so many properties you can see, right? So which is nothing but title, first name, last name, right? So since it has many properties, so if the particular Json object does not have so many properties, then you're not going to use this particular keyword, so which is nothing but Json object in the traversal node. So we are not going to go in this way, right? So we can directly go here. So we can directly pick this one. So because we don't need this one, right? So it particular has only one value. So you can see this has been separated by the comma. Okay, you can see here, right? So this particular thing has been entered here, and then we are going to extract this data. Okay, so we are not going to look on this particular data, which means correct. So this is not needed. So how do you skip this? So you are going to provide result.0 and then directly name. So because we no need of this one, correct? So we need only this name JSON. So in this name JSON object, so we are going to have these many properties along with the values. So we are going to capture this one only, not a gender. So what you can do here, let me go to the Uipath Studio. So let me open this. So I just already opened this window. So what you can do here, you can just remove this one, okay, and then instead of that you can provide the name, copy this particular name and then provide here. Okay, let me show one by one. So this particular, once I give a name, so what actually I will be getting as output, so I should get entire thing as output, right? Let me save this, let me debug this. So I'll be getting entire thing as output. So in that I am going to interpret only the first name now. So after that this execution, I guess our execution is done. Let me go to the output panel. Yeah. So you can see here, right, which is title, father name, last name. So all the data has been extracted. So from this, what actually you needed? The first name, correct? The first name. Perfect. So what you can provide here after this, so we are going to access the property which is inside this name, correct? So for sure we are going to use this name. So we are not going to remove this. How we are removed gender, like? So these are the properties which is under inside the name. So we are going to use the name for sure. We are not going to leave this. So if you are not going to use the name, so we cannot able to access the property which is inside the name. So what are you going to do? So let me go to the UiPath, open bracket, close bracket, and then just try to provide first name over here. Perfect. And then just click on save debug. I guess our examination is done. Let me go to the output panel. Yeah. So you can see the name here, right? Only the name. So likewise, it works. So it is working pretty much good, right? So we are going to capture only the name. So if you want to capture the last name, how do you do that? So we can directly use the last name. Okay. So which is inside the name object, right? So we can access this name array. So which is inside this. So what you can do here, let me try to provide here. So now we will be getting the last name as an output. So as I said, we can transfer to the each and every nodes of this particular JSON format. Okay. So you have to provide your parent node. So actually you have to provide, so what is the node we are going to traversal? Okay. So if the particular data property which are not going to be used, so you no need to mention over there. So since I was going to access the properties of a name, so I have mentioned result name. So if I was not going to access these things, okay, so if I need only location, what I will be doing? So result location. So I guess you got it right. So if I'm not going to access, let's assume we are not going to access this entire thing, okay. So you're going to access from the city only. So what? How do you do that? So just result dot zero and then directly state. No need to provide those things. So likewise, we have to eliminate the property which is not going to be used in our things. So if you are going to access any child property, so which is nothing but title or title and the first name, last name. So you have to mention the parent JSON object. Okay. So you have to mention that as well. So likewise, you can eliminate so the JSON nodes which is not needed. Likewise, you can go ahead and traversal to the each and every node and can extract the data. And the next session, I'll be help you with the how to use the decentralized JSON array so that you can able to identify how to use the JSON array. So what are the user of the JSON array and those things. So I hope this will be helpful for you to extract the data from the API. Thanks for watching. Happy learning. Have a good day.